Jennifer. I'm the children's librarian here at Crook County Library. This is Alfonso, and I am so pleased that you could join us for World Read Aloud Day. And today we have a guest speaker, Don Brahavnik, author of Where Does a Pirate Go Potty? Unfortunately, our copy of Where Does a Cowgirl Go Potty got checked out. So
okay.
That's okay. So I will pass it over to you.
Oh, friends, this is Friends in American Sign Language. You can join me in saying that. And as Jennifer said, my name is Dawn Bab Prochovnic, and today is one of my favorite days of the year. I'm very excited when I get to share my books with young readers and actually get to see the faces of young readers as I'm sharing those books. So I'm a children's author that has quite a few books under publication now. This is one of my very first books. This is called See the Colors. And this book, along with the other 15 books in the series, this is a series called Storytime with Signs and Rhymes. This series incorporates stories about things like colors or animals or how to write a story and American Sign Language. So if you like doing things like saying my name is or friend, or in just a brief moment, we're going to learn the sign for pirate. If you find that fun, then those books would be really good to get to know. I also was very lucky that I got to have one of my stories in this collection called Oregon Reads Aloud. And this is a book that is a collection of stories by Oregon authors and illustrators. And every story has something to do with Oregon. My story in this book is called First Day Jitters, and it's about the excitement of starting school if your school is in Oregon. So there's some unique Oregon facts in that. But as Jennifer was saying, I have some silly books. One of them is Where Does a Cowgirl Go Potty? And the other is Where Does a Pirate Go Potty? And given that I'm wearing my pirate hat, I thought it might make sense to read that one today. So as you're listening, you could sign along. This book isn't a sign language book, but I always think it's fun to incorporate sign language. You could sign the word where, put your index finger up and you wiggle it back and forth. It's like you're looking for something, where. And then the word for pirate is boat, and then a little pirate patch. But if you're saying it in a sentence, you can just do the pirate patch. So if we were doing that along with the story, we might say, where does a pirate, and then the last word you're going to hear a lot, because this is a silly potty humor book, is potty. And your thumb goes in between your first two fingers and you wiggle it back and forth, or sometimes people swirl it around. I'm not going to be signing with this story, but you can. Some of you have busy hands, and so that's a fun thing to do with your hands. I will just read the book. And this is called Where Does a Pirate Go Potty? It's written by me. I'm Dawn Bab Prochovnic. It's illustrated by Jacob Suva. And it goes like this. Ahoy there, matey! Where does a pirate go potty around here? And Jennifer, can you see those pictures just fine? Yeah. You can bury your treasure anywhere in that sandy shoreline, landlubber. Well, thanks. I'll drop anchor and start a digging. Squirt! Uh-oh. This is where a razor clam goes potty. Well, sorry, pal. I'm looking for a place a pirate can go potty. You can leave your loot in that deep, dark cave. Good thinking. I'll get to it smartly. Oh, he weren't kidding about the deep darkness. Ork, 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 ork. This is where a sea lion goes potty. Well, no need to be salty. Where in doubloons do you want me to go? You can stow your spoils in that tide pool, buccaneer. I'll swagger that way. Arg! This better be the right place. Snap! Uh-oh. this is where a rock crab goes, Potty. And you can't be peeing in my pool. Son of a sea biscuit, where can a pirate lighten a load? The fishing pier is the place for scallywags. Move it along. Can you all do that? You can say, move it along. Try that together. There you go. Move it along. Oh boy, that is one unhappy rock crab. Blimey, me sea legs are getting weary. Splat. This is where a pelican goes, Potty. Oh, swab the deck. Where can a blistering pirate go, Potty? Follow this map to the shipwreck. X marks the spot. Gangway me, laddies. Bottoms up. Slurp. Well, this is where an octopus goes, Potty. Shiver me timbers. Where does a pirate go, Potty? Paddle out past the lighthouse to the bubbly blue sea. Heave ho! I gotta go! Whoosh! There she blows! This is where a gray whale goes, Potty. The place you're looking for is beyond that buoy. Batten down the hatches. If I don't find a Potty soon, I'll be blasting my britches. Look at the look on that pirate's face. Oh! Avast me hearties! I found the perfect spot. Not in the captain's quarters. Yo ho ho. Now this is where a pirate goes potty. One of my favorite pages in this book. Yar. And that is what a silly potty humor book sounds like. And we can say, yay for signing. So I wanted to share with you that if you thought that was fun, this is how you sign fun, and you wanted more, either more things about potty or pirates, or you'd like to learn more about my cowgirl book or even sign language, you can go out to my website. If you visit that, you're going to find some really fun things. One of them is a pirate name generator. So this pirate name generator for where does a pirate go potty, you first pick your birth month. So I was married in, or I was born in May. And so my first name, my first pirate name would be Weary. And my last pirate name would be the first letter of my first name. That's kind of complicated, but it would say Weary Doubloons. That would be my pirate name. So you could go out and click on the resources tab of my website, and you could find a storytime guide for that, and you could locate the pirate name generator. There's also a wonderful reader's theater script. So if you thought, well, that was fun, but Dawn doesn't use enough good voices. We need more voices and more characterization. You could do your own reader's theater using the script from that story. So that's also out there on the website. I wanted to give you a couple of pirate jokes just to kind of go with this idea of being silly. So one of the questions, or one of the joke questions, is, why are pirates so mean? And the answer is, I don't know. They just are. Okay, yuck, yuck, yuck. I know, pretty silly. Also, why didn't the pirate get hungry on the desert island? Because of all the sandwich is there. You get that? Ha 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 ha. All the sandwich is there. There we go. Okay, one more silly pirate joke. What do you get when you cross a pie and a rat? A pirate! Okay, I'm ridiculously silly. I want to make sure I have some time for questions, but before we do questions, I also like to share other authors' books because this is World Read Aloud Day. So we were just reading Where Does a Pirate Go Potty? But one of my author friends, Haley Adelman, she wrote this excellent book called Way Past Worried. And it's a wonderful story about what the situation of when you're not feeling very confident about something, you're feeling a little anxious, and maybe you're just quite worried, and you're in fact way past worried, and what to do about that. So this is a really great book. So I always like to give a little shout out about that. And then I want to take some time for some questions. We have some time for questions. So Jennifer can maybe open that up and we can either, yeah, there we go.
So
Great.
I'm gonna unmute everyone.
Okay.
Let's see. So now our classrooms can unmute themselves if they would like.
Fabulous. So if you have a question, I hope to offer some kind of a response. Go ahead.
What gave you the idea of Where Does the Pirate Go Potty?
I am so glad you asked that question. So my son, who is now, thank you for that question. My son, who is now a college student, when he was just teeny-tiny, he was probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years old, and he was running around the house, and he had a diaper on, and he had some dress-up clothes on. One of those things was a little bandana and a patch on his eye, so he felt like he was a pirate, and he was running around the house saying, "Where does a pirate go potty? Where does a pirate go potty?" And I thought that was so funny that I wrote that down in my writing journal. And then I started working on a story, and it took me a long time to get the story just right, but that was the initial idea. So I'm so glad you asked that question.
Where do pirates go potty?
Well, what did you find out in the book? Did you get any ideas?
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear the book. Oh, you missed it. Well,
I didn't hear the book.
You didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. So at the very end of the story, the pirate finds a pirate ship, and he hops aboard and he goes into the captain's special quarters. And that's where he finds where to go. It's just pure silliness. Yes. All right. Thank you for that question. Who has another question? All right. Let's see. I will, from Ms. Deaton's class, if I'm pronouncing that right, go ahead. Oops, we have to unmute you. Still not getting your voice. Let's try that one more time. Now I'm hearing something. Okay, are you on?
If you're having troubles, you can also type the question in the chat box.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
I can read it out loud for everyone.
Perfect. And then I think that, is it Ms. Thran? Don't know if I pronounced that right. One of your students has a question. Go ahead.
So was that his pirate ship?
That's a great question. So, you know, when you write stories, whether you write them in books that are published or you write them in your writing journal in your classroom, there's the idea that you had in your own mind, and then there's the idea that the reader has in their mind. So in my mind, that wasn't the pirate's own pirate ship, but in some readers' minds, they imagine that it was his very own pirate ship. So you get to decide. Thank you for that question. Who else has a question? Okay, go ahead. I can't. Go ahead and type it. I'm fine to answer questions that way. As a matter of fact, while I'm mentioning that, some people won't get a chance to get their questions answered. And classroom by classroom, you are more than welcome to write up a list of questions and send me one email. And if you are having trouble finding my contact information, you can get that from Jennifer, but then I will respond to the class to those questions that didn't get answered. So feel free to do that. Yeah. Okay, who else has a question? Oh, let's see.
I see one in chat. It says, when did you make the book?
That's a really great question. So I started writing that book right after I heard my son say that. Within a few days, actually, I wrote it in my writing journal. And as I mentioned to you, he's in college now. So he's 18 and he was about 2 when he first said those words. So I did some work on that story and then I tucked it into a folder. And then I'd pull that folder out and I'd do some more work on that story and I'd tuck it into a folder. I have a group that's called a critique group. And sometimes I would share the story with the critique group and they would give me feedback and I'd make more changes. And that happened for a number of years. And I kept trying to publish the book and I kept sending it to publishers and publishers would say, it's a really funny book, but it's not for us. And so I'd tuck it away and I'd try again. And then what's an interesting story about this book is that I actually decided, you know what? Maybe nobody really is interested in Where a Pirate Goes Potty. So that's when I came up with the idea of Where Does a Cowgirl Go Potty? I thought maybe I'll just change it up completely. I will write a different kind of a story. And so I used that same inspiration to write a story about Where Does a Cowgirl Go Potty? And it turns out that the publisher that wanted to publish this book decided to also publish this book. So I started on the story about 16 years ago and it got published about a year and a half ago. Yeah, great question. Who else has a question? We have just a couple more minutes. Anybody?
See another one in chat. Does the pirate have any crewmates?
Oh, that's a great question. So if you look at the pictures in the book real closely, you'll see that he has some crewmates, but they're not human beings. So he does have some friends that tag along with him in his little rowboat, but he does not have any human companions that I know of. But kind of along the same lines as what I said before, sometimes as you're reading a story, you have your own imagination that takes you away. And so you can go with your thinking on that. I think we have one more question, maybe time for 2, 1 or 2.
How hard did you work on it?
Oh, goodness. I worked really, really hard on it. And what I had to be was very flexible. That's a really great question. So I know that because I visit a lot of classrooms, that sometimes when you write something down, maybe your teacher or your writing coach asks you to write a story for a particular prompt, and you write it down and you put it in your journal and you tuck it away and you think, I'm done. But in fact, when you're writing a story, there's always some little fine tunes that can be done on it. And so I worked really hard trying to get the pirates' words just right and trying to get some of the scenery just right. And in fact, some of the animals that showed up in the story, I made a variety of changes over time. For example, the razor clam was a very late addition. I was doing some research on the internet and I discovered that, in fact, in real life, the science of where does a razor clam go potty, it's actually a very interesting, they go potty in a very interesting way. And I watched the science video and I thought, I need to have this animal, this creature in my book. And so I made a change to that. So I feel like I worked really hard on it. I like the book a lot. I hope you liked it as well. I want to remind you, about one other thing, and that is, so I mentioned going out to my website. The other thing that you can find is an original song for both this book and for the Cowgirl book, both performed by different musicians, but you can sign along with those songs if you practice these signs, because you'll hear the word where, and then again, pirate, or you can do pirate, and then go potty. And I will tell you the animation that Jacob Suva did on those book trailers that are the videos for both Where Does a Pirate Go Potty and Where Does a Cowgirl Go Potty are absolutely fabulous. And the musicians, Annie Lynn and Marshall Mitchell, that did the songs did a really nice job. So I hope you'll go out and give those a look. So any last questions before we wrap things up, Jennifer?
I do not see any more questions, but the Steens Pillar 4th graders say thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. This was so much fun. And again, when you want to applaud and you want to not be noisy about it, this is how we applaud in American Sign Language. All right. And again, I hope in addition to checking out my books, I really do hope that you'll check out Haley Adelman's book, Way Past Worried. I don't think I mentioned her Way Past Mad. It's another book, similar idea, but this time about the emotion of being angry. So those are some fun ones to check out. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful World Read Aloud Day. You've been a very special part of my day. So thank you for sharing it with me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank
You are
you.
welcome. Bye,
All right,
friends.
And if any of our classroom classes want to check out any of these books, they are available at the library or will be added soon. So
Thank you.
yeah.